Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara. It is a beautiful, beautiful day today. The high is only like 72. It is, do you see my backdrop? Do you see my backdrop? Love it. It is the perfect day to be outside. And I hate that I only had a little time today to be outside, but I'm out here in the in-ground space and I am kind of filling in some holes. And there's only a few holes that's not planted, and so I'm finishing those up. And I have a confession to make, but before I do that, if you're brand new here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. We live in Tennessee in Zone 7B, and we talk about on this channel all things gardening, homesteading, cooking from scratch, preserving, is all the things that we talk about. We are heavy now as we start approaching the summer gardening season. So a lot of the content will be gardening, but I've also been doing some content and will continue to do content about how you take your harvest from your gardens into your house and either prepare it for your family or how to preserve it. So I'm really big in making sure that nothing that you grow goes to waste. So here on our farm, we have three main goals with the food that we grow. Number one is to provide food for our family. We try to eat as seasonal as possible. And what that means is that as much of a crop, every crop that I grow, I try to grow a year's worth. So that way we have it until we can grow that crop again. So our number one goal is to feed our family and to have food for the year. Our second goal is to give it away to those who may be in need or to bless others. So I take produce weekly to my church. I may give it to somebody who's in need or give it to family. Our third goal on our farm is to sell the excess. So we just started last year selling our excess produce because we produce a lot of food here. The name of our farm is Living Foods Farm, and the website is down below. So we sell our excess, but again, that's after we've met goal 1 and 2. So that's the goal on our farm. Every farm is different. Every farm operates differently. Both me and my husband have full-time jobs outside of gardening. So gardening is like my passion project, my hobby. I do give it my all. I spend as much time as I can, but it is not our full-time jobs. So that means that a lot of my content, again, I may only have 20 or 30 minutes to get something done. I'm not out here all day, every day, just because I don't have the time to do that. But I am really big into efficiency, automation, technology, and organization. So on this channel, I talk a lot about all of those things because for me, in order to have a successful garden, I have to be organized. I have to be efficient to be able to produce the amount that we're producing with the short amount of time that I have. So our growing spaces, we have three main growing spaces. Number one, we started our garden with 5 raised beds behind our house. I started gardening my very first time putting my hands in dirt was April 2020. So this will be the 4th year of me gardening. So we started with 4 raised beds, then we added a 5th one. Then in October of 2021, we got our high tunnel. And so the summer of 22 was the first time I planted in my tunnel. So this is really only my third summer planting in my high tunnel. Our high tunnel is 30 by 96. You'll see lots of content in the high tunnel. Inside the high tunnel, we have 6 raised beds, and then we have 5 rows that are 45 feet long where we plant in the ground. Where I'm standing right now is space number 3, which is our in-ground garden. It is 4,000 square feet. It's 40 by 100. We have 8 rows that are 100 feet long, and we only plant in this space in the summertime. So in the summertime, it is busy, it is hot and heavy, and guess what? I love it. So I'm in my in-ground garden space, and there's a few things that I just want to sure up. So the first thing we're going to do is reseed the row that has our purple hull peas. Some of them did not germinate, which is fine. So I'm going to, I've soaked some purple hull peas. And so let me show you in this row how things are going, and then we're just going to fill in the open spaces. Okay, you can see the first 2 holes didn't even germinate, which is fine. But as I walk down, you'll see, for the most part, pretty good germination already. That's the weed I just need to get up. But pretty good germination. There's another hole that's not germinated. But if we walk all the way down, for the most part, it is pretty good. Okay, so there was only about 6 spaces, and so 6 out of like 60 holes, that's pretty good. So I had done 12 peas, so I went back and did a double seeding on some of those. So that works out good. The drip will come on in the next 30 minutes or so. So hopefully by the time I get back in town, I will see some germination. There are a couple of spots I didn't fill because once I got to that point, that was no longer purple pearl peas. That was the Kentucky pole green bean. So the majority of this row is purple hull peas. And then after that, we have the Kentucky Wonder green bean, which is a pole bean. It's my first time doing a pole green bean. And then after that, we have the Triofino, which is a purple pole green bean. And then we have, I think it's called the Scarlet Emperor, which is another pole green bean that has like red flowers. So that's what's in this row. Hence, you see I have a trellis on this row. So all of those plants will grow up on the trellis and they are vining. So that is that. As I was walking back, I saw a pepper. Yes, let me show you. Do you see that? That's the Ajvarsky pepper. And then not only do I have one, I have 2. I didn't see that one. This is also the Ajvarsky right there. So I have 2 peppers. As a matter of fact, there's a third one. Oh, there's 2 on that plant. Very good. Here is just a quick snapshot of the garden. Obviously, things are still small and tiny, but you give it 30 days and we will be able to see some major progress, but looking good. So the next row that we're going to work on is this one right here at the end. This is our watermelon row. So let me talk to you about my confession. I went ahead and bought some watermelon starts. That's my confession. Y'all, I'm tired. So I didn't start any more seeds. I know that I said that I would, but I didn't. But it's not just because I'm tired. It's just because my schedule is not working out to where I can do that. So let me tell you what's going on in this row. So in this is the very last row in the in-ground garden. It is our watermelon row. So on this row, we have watermelon and a few cantaloupe, and we planted all the way down. We interplant with basil primarily because our holes are spaced 18 inches apart, but for watermelon you want them to be 3 feet apart so they can have room to grow and roam. Also, in this particular part of the garden, we have nothing but black paper on either side, and we have 3 feet of spacing on the left side of it and probably 6 feet on the right hand side of it. That way it's not competing with other crops and they have all the room they need to grow and to spread out. So that is why this is called watermelon row. Now, I did start watermelon seeds. I did not have good germination on my watermelon seeds, so I did not germinate enough to fill up the whole row like I normally do. So the first part of the row is strawberry watermelon and sugar baby. Strawberry watermelon is my absolute favorite, but it just did not germinate well after 2 tries. I was going to try again a third time, but I have so much travel this particular month that you guys know when you're starting seeds, you gotta be home to be able to water them every day and to do what you need to do. And we're just going many directions in May. May is like a crazy month. Is it like that for y'all too? Graduations, ministry trips, just it's a whole bunch of stuff just all at one time. So I wasn't gonna be able to start the seeds when I wanted to, and now I'm gonna be in and out that they're probably not gonna survive. If I had some overhead misting system, then yes, that'd be fine. That is on my list, just hadn't happened yet. All that to say is that I went ahead and bought me some starts. I bought some Crimson Sweet watermelons, and so I'm going to plant the rest of this row, and I'm going to alternate with Crimson Sweet watermelons, as well as I have some marigolds and some nasturtiums that I'm going to interplant with them. When I say interplant in the row, I'm going to just do that every other plant. So that's what I'm going to do now, so this row can be complete. and we can go on about our merry way. Am I going to miss the fact that I'm not going to have a whole row of strawberry watermelons? I am. Now, I wonder, watermelons are usually, I want to say 80 to 90 days. That'll put me at July, but they keep producing. I wonder if I could get a second round. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I can, because I don't know. My brain's gonna hurt right now, so I'm not gonna think about that. Let me get these watermelon plants in the ground so that this row can be done. Okay, we got that whole row planted, except I have 4 spaces for the alternation to put either basil or nasturtium or marigold in. So I got to go back out and do that. I just harvested a whole bucket of kale. Remember, I had pulled up all my kale about a month or so ago to make room for the peppers, and because they were bolted. This particular kale had not bolted, so I kept it to see what it would do, and it's been producing. So I just got me another harvest of kale that was unexpected, and I'm gonna keep the plant in there and see what it does. If it gives me another one, I'll take another one. So now what I'm gonna do is, let me show you all the plants I have left. What to do. Okay, so I have 4 watermelon plants left. Those are some dahlias, cucumbers, more cucumbers. Those cucumbers are sold. These are not. Squash. These are some herbs. I got a place to put these in a pot. I just got to do it. That's tarragon. And I don't know what that is. I got to bend it. Oh, banana peppers. Then we have a tray right there. You can see that that's about dead. These are dead. But then I have these left. Those don't look great. These look okay. That's zinnias and something else. I have more corn. I don't have a place to put it. These are tomato plants. The ones in the back look better than the ones up front. That's a whole tray of jalapenos, Thai basil, and Thai red chili peppers. That's a whole tray of Amish paste tomatoes. Again, those don't look great. More tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes, peppers and flowers in the back. So, quite a bit of plants left. That's why I was looking for every available space that I could. This is all planted out. Okay, let me show you this bed. This is the bed that the collard greens were in. I planted out. I didn't show this on video, but I planted this bed out. There are herbs, lettuce, and then I filled it in with peppers because I had peppers left over. So this is going to be an herb and a spicy pepper bed versus this one is all non-spicy peppers. So let's talk about options. Here are the options. 1, I can get rid of my snapdragons, which some of them are dying, and try to put some plants there. That is an option. So I have those on both sides. That's an option. And then I have this bed here that had our carrots and cilantro. I have harvested all the carrots. What you see left is cilantro. By now you should have seen that I did a big harvesting of cilantro and freeze dried it. So it's time for this bed almost to be planted out. Okay, y'all, I'm running out of options. I'm up against time and space. Time because I'm going out of town. They won't be watered for like 3 days, and they're most likely going to die. Now, I could take a chance, of course, water them really good before I leave, and just see when I come back. If they're dry, they'll be dry. But if they'll come back to life once I get back, that's an option. I could put them outside, and if it rains, they'll get rain or water that way. That's an option. I have given plants away. I have sold plants. I did one last push to sell plants this week, and I did get some orders, but I still have all this left. I only have one more order ready to go out, but I still got all this left. In terms of space, I got like 4 places out there that need something. Everything in here is pretty much planted. The bed that has the cilantro left in it, where we had the carrots, that bed is supposed to be green beans according to my crop plan. The bed that had the spicy peppers and the herbs in it was supposed to be my sweet potatoes. I moved both of those to the back of the house, but I need some paste and Roma tomatoes in the back of my house. But those spaces in the back of my house are not ready because of the onions and the garlic. They're not ready yet to be harvested. I did harvest garlic scapes this morning from the elephant garlic, but the regular garlic has not scaped yet. And usually once it scapes, you can harvest a couple of weeks after. So I'm still at about 2 to 3 weeks before I can harvest, which is what I plan, around June 1st, somewhere, or the end of May, somewhere along in there. Those plants are not going to make it until then. I have tried to give them away. Everybody's out of space. Don't eat them. I've done all the things. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But it's nothing in me that will just take a plant that's in good, healthy condition and throw it away. I just can't do it. Oh, and by the way, I have a whole tray at my house on my porch of zinnias and sunflowers that I started. 16 zinnias, 16 sunflowers. I can't get rid of those. What to do. Now, the snapdragons, I need to look up. I don't think they'll make it through the summer. So I could pull up the snapdragons and put flowers and some stuff in there. That is an option. I did pull my snapdragons early last year to make space, so that is an option. I just hate because I've only had like 3 bouquets off of that. I could have had more. I just busy. Ain't been here. Oh, what to do? Okay. What I'm going to do now is at least go through the plants that are completely dead, no coming back, no chance of reviving, and dispose of those, and let's see what we have left. I don't even know that it'll make a dent in it. But I don't know what else to do. I'm up against time and space. Give me some options. By the time you see this, though, it may be too late. I don't know. Let's go see what we got left. Okay, I didn't show y'all on camera because I didn't want y'all crying about these plants. So I probably got rid of about 2 trays worth. So probably a total, if I had to guess, about 30 plants. That, y'all, they were bad. There was no coming back from that. And I think what I have decided is the snapdragons are going to go. I think that's what I have decided that we're going to do. And we're going to replace those with either herbs or herbs and flowers. So I'm going to start with this one here. And I may just do one for now, although they're not looking too good. But I'm going to do this one because this one actually needs more soil. It is pretty low. We have not upped the soil since we had these. I mean, we've added compost, but like as we've pulled plants up, the soil has kind of decreased to the bottom. So it needs to have more soil added to it anyway. So we're going to get rid of these snapdragons, and that's going to give us some more space to at least put something. Okay, snapdragons are gone. You can see how low this is compared to the top. I also have well, look at that little guy. I don't know what that is, but I wanted to show you these bugs right here. Y'all, what kind of bug is that? That's not a roly-poly, but there's tons of these bugs in here. And let me know if they're harmful or they're friendly, they're friend or foe. This is what they look like. Okay, I just looked up snapdragons and I feel better about the decision that I just made. So snapdragons, which is what I thought, they do not like a lot of high heat. That they will stop blooming and they will start to wilt. And you kind of saw that that's what was happening because it gets really hot in the greenhouse. So they're not going to make it anyway, right? So it makes sense for me to pull those out and use this space for something else. So that means the other ones are going to have to go as well. So that'll give me a chance to take those out. They were pretty while they lasted. I guess and this is the same way it was last year. We enjoyed them for about a month or so, probably 6 weeks. Put some bouquets in the house. They dry beautifully. I wonder if I could put them in the freeze dryer. I hadn't even thought about that. I don't have time. But it'll give me a chance to replace the soil, bring it back up some, and then plant some stuff in it. So we'll figure out what to plant in it. That's really all I can get done today. I'm going to stop the video here, but I'm going to keep the video going, meaning I'll be back another day and we'll plant out these spaces and figure out what we're going to plant. That'll give me a chance to see, is there anything else I can give away, sell, before I decide what's going to go in here. So we'll come back a different day, but I feel better that I took them out because they're not going to make it anyway. It's already mid-May. It's only going to get hotter from here. And in the greenhouse, the heat is exponential compared to outside. So I think we made the right decision. Now, that'll give me a chance to think about what I want to go in these two spaces because I hadn't really done that on my crop plan. It was kind of loose. So let me firm it up and then we'll come back and we'll refresh the soil and then replant the spaces and we'll go from there. And then whatever is left is going to be left. Okay? Okay. All right. I'll see you guys probably in a couple of days. Okay, guys. So my husband put a bag of soil in here for me to raise up the level. So this is getting a brand new dressing of soil, which I am excited about. And then I'm going to put some worm castings in here and some compost. So this is a couple of days later. I consulted my crop plan and I figured out a little bit about what I'm going to do. I couldn't remember what all the plants I had down here, but essentially I'm going to plant this bed. We're going to pull up the snapdragons in that bed across from us and put new amendments in there, and we're going to plant both of those out. And then I've also looked at the crop plan for this other bed that I was talking about where I'm supposed to have green beans. I've worked it out to where we're not going to do green beans in here. We're going to try to use up some of these plants, I think. So the first order of business is just to finish amending this bed and figure out what we're going to plant in it. So I've already added the soil and that brought it up a level. If I had another bag, I would add that too, but I don't have another bag. I'm almost positive, but I'm going to add compost and some worm castings and all the amendments, and then we'll start planting. Okay, so I got all the amendments in, but y'all, the strangest thing happened. I've never seen that before. When I dumped the worm castings in there, the worm castings bag itself has a ton of ants in it. I have never ever seen that, but it was too late. I had already dumped the bag and I see all these ants crawling around. Y'all know me and ants do not get along, and I already feel like something has bit me. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because I dumped it and it was just ants, and I just looked in the bag. There's plenty of ants. I'm about to dispose of this bag because, I mean, the ants come, but I don't want to create ants. I'm glad that it's in this bed and not one of my other raised beds. The ants are just, like, they're not bad for the garden, for the food. They're just a nuisance and they're annoying. And usually they're fire ants and they bite me and I have all these reactions. So that's why I really try to stay clear of the ants. So I'm gonna put on some gloves. I'm gonna be very careful as I plant this bed, and I'm about to get rid of this worm castings. Meaning, yeah, I'm just gonna put it somewhere. I'm not gonna throw it away completely, but I'm certainly not using it on the next bed. So in this bed, I have 4 dahlias, and I'm gonna put those towards the back. And another thing about the ants, that worm casting bag hadn't even been opened. So I know it wasn't that it was open and that some ants got in it from the garden. It hadn't even been opened yet. So that was so very strange. So very strange. So these are some dahlias that I grew from seed. I got them from Florette Farm. So I'm excited about these. They grew and germinated beautifully, as you can see. So we're just putting them in here. And spacing them apart. So we got those in there. And then I think I'm going to do zinnias as well. Remember I told you I had a tray of zinnias and sunflowers. So I think I'm going to do probably the rest with some zinnias, and then may pop a basil plant in there or something like that. So let me get to planting and I'll show you what I did. Okay, I got the whole bed planted. I did dahlias, celosia, a Thai basil, and some zinnias. So that bed is full. I was very careful. There's ants all around. I really hate that. Like, I hate that. But there's nothing I can do about it now. So I'm going to water this in, and I'll let you see the aftershock. Here's the final product. New soil, new amendments, new compost, dahlias, zinnias, a Thai basil, and some celosia. So this will be a great little pollinator patch with extra flowers so that we didn't lose them. So now we're going to go over to this bed and do pretty much the same thing in terms of getting rid of all these snapdragons and re-amending this bed. Okay, so I got this bed ready to go, and I'm really excited because of what I'm about to do. It's something that I've been wanting to do, but I have been nervous about doing it. And that's kind of like having me a little herb garden in one of these circular things. I've been wanting to do that, and I'm not going to go all the way, meaning I'm not going to put mint in it because mint takes over. But I do want a bed where I can put mint in that's bigger than a pot, because it can only get so big. And mint needs to be contained. So if you are a new gardener, let me tell you, in case nobody's ever told you, when you grow things like mint, lemongrass, I think lemon balm as well, they are what they call invasive plants, meaning they take over. I did not know that when I first started gardening. I put mint in a raised bed, but luckily I heard about it, or somebody told me, and it had only been in the ground, less than a month. So I was able to pull it up and put it in a pot. But I've heard horror stories of how mint will just take over. It will choke out everything else. It will just spread, and it's too hard to get up once it gets established. So I've always done my mint in a container. I've always done like my oregano and thyme. But in this bed, I'm going to do some herbs. I'm going to do oregano, which I've had oregano in one of these beds before, just because I want to grow more, and I want to be able to harvest it and to freeze dry it and have my own like herb seasoning blends instead of buying it at the store. So instead of me putting it in one of these raised beds and like one of the 4x8s, I'm going to try the circular raised bed, and I'm going to plant in here some oregano, some thyme, some sage. What else do I have? Some tarragon, and some basil. And then I'm also going to put in a couple of sunflowers. So I'm really excited because I've been wanting to do this, but I haven't done it because I'm like, ooh, I need to keep it in a pot. And my goal was to buy some other metal raised beds for the tunnel that was just herbs. And I want a bed that's not like a 4x8 and not this big either, just for my mint, like something in between sizes. Anyway, I haven't quite gotten there yet. So the mint is still in a pot. But I have some new mints. The mint that I have grown for the last 2 to 3 years, it got infested with ants. And I just let it die because I was not about to be trimming that up and getting mint with the ants. So I just let the ants have it. You got it. But I bought 2 new mints, an orange mint and a strawberry mint. And they smell so good. So very good. But in this bed, I cleaned it out. I kept the Dusty Miller, but I cut it back some. Because it had kind of grown wild. That Dusty Miller I grew from seed. It has been in here since last spring. So it's lasted a whole year through the winter, everything. I love Dusty Miller. The white and the contrast, it just brings me joy. It brings me joy. So we're going to get this bed planted. And I'm excited. So let's get to it. Okay, this bed is done. So we have some sunflowers in the back. That's sage. That is lemon thyme. That smells amazing. This is oregano, sunflower, Italian basil, and some tarragon. So this whole bed is planted for now. We'll see what happens, but I'm really excited about it. Okay, y'all, mission accomplished. I'm feeling good. As I look around, I still have plants, but I do not have as many plants as I had when I started this video. So I feel really, really good about that, because it was a little bit overwhelming to have all these plants. Now, don't get me wrong, it's always better to have more plants than not enough, and I'll keep a few extra if they stay alive while I'm gone, just to pop in case something dies or something like that. Like I see a pepper plant that I just put in there that's looking a little weepy. I got another one. I have another one. So, but I'm glad that I got these 2 beds done. So that leaves only 1 bed left for the summer season in the tunnel. That is it. We'll pull the cilantro out and we'll get that bed planted and use up some of those plants. But y'all, that's it. And I'm so excited. We are on our way officially to the summer season. And I'm grateful that I was able to grow so many seeds. I didn't even get a count, but it was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of seeds. If I had to guess, easily 1,000 seeds. Maybe not thousands upon thousands. Maybe that's a bit much, but it over 1,000 for sure. Because last year I did 500, and I know I did way more than that. And I didn't even have this many left last year. I had a ton left. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging in here with me as we just found some spaces for the extra plants to grow everything. Oh, I just remembered, I still have to go put 3 or 4 things in that watermelon row. I just remembered that. I got more basil. Basil to the rescue. I got basil and tarragon. So I got 4 spots left that I need to go plug in. I'm gonna go do that. This is watered in. The drip's about to come on. I'm feeling good. I still got a tray of peppers back there, but I'm about to go pop those 4 in there before I leave. I'm gonna get my friend's order. She's gonna get some extra plants. She don't know it, but she is gonna get some extra ones. And then we're good. We are good. Thank you guys for joining me. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, let me know how your gardens are doing. I'll see you next time, friend.